Tucker's bombshell, new January 6th footage proves feds were everywhere.
Well, I thought the last footage proved that, but hey, let's see it.
Why does everyone keep denying the footage? Like, I've seen too much different footage, man.
I just feel like I've seen footage, I can't lie, of people being like very riled up though. All right, people are saying that it was peaceful, but it's like inside looked peaceful, but like I've seen some footage, like just a quick footage, maybe like a second, where some shit just like it looked like it was an altercation, you know?
They said they was.
So it's kind of hard for me to just be like, it was a peaceful ass protest.
They said that they was tearing stuff up after they shot tear gas and stuff at them and bullets. Didn't they say they shot rubber bullets or something at them?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if they start shooting that at me, I would be pretty upset.
I would leave.
I don't know, but it's just so many empty gaps in this, bro. For sure. Because like, okay, think about it. If they left the Trump, whatever it was not a rally, but the speaking or whatever, and how did they get?
It was a rally.
Was it a
rally?
They
walked over there.
Like, okay, they walked over there, so they had a plan to go in there, right?
I don't know.
That's
the question.
Like they have to have that.
That's the question because I think people were trying to say that Trump incited this.
So the police, they said they were throwing like tear gas or like the pellets or whatever.
Rubber bullets.
Rubber bullets. You know what I'm saying? How did that altercation get there?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I said on the first video. How did you see? We saw peaceful things happening.
Inside, yeah.
Yeah.
But we didn't see
anything
outside.
Someone died, obviously. So
that's what I'm saying. And that footage looked like it was pretty riled up. Like it wasn't like it was.
We did see that. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. So it's kind of hard for me to just be like, this is a completely peaceful protest.
It's probably both sides probably have a little bit of truth here. There was some peaceful people there, and there was some non-peaceful.
Good and bad apples.
Exactly. Just like every group.
We should make a shirt called that.
We should literally make a shirt.
Good and bad apples.
Literally, because we say that almost sums up damn near everything.
But I mean, some outrageous stuff did happen. Like the people going to jail. Okay, that was a little outrageous, especially the peaceful ones. Okay, that's a little wild. So it is that both sides got some. But I can't completely say that the people that went in the Capitol building, like, were they completely wrong? Because it's like I don't know what led up to anything.
I mean, like they were wrong, but they weren't that wrong to get 20 years. But they were wrong.
Well,
it's illegal.
I can see how bad it got because people did go in like people's offices.
Yeah, I'm not an expert on this situation. That's why it's kind of like so hard.
No,
for
that's
me
the
to
thing. I don't
pick
think
a side.
Let's just see what Tucker says.
It's hard for me to just pick a side on this.
It is a crazy situation, though.
I'm very interested to see what he says.
There was a pastor from Laffy that was there talking.
That day is going to be forever remembered, January 6th.
That's crazy.
Like out here,
they're gonna do a DBQ off that in high school.
Let's see if this footage changes our mind.
Hell yeah! As soon as you get to class.
But did you see that Democrat that was getting fucked in the Congress shit, Brandon?
I haven't seen the video, but I've seen what people tweeted.
I seen the video.
You watched the video? Nah, you're suspect.
I seen it. It popped up on my Twitter timeline.
You looked it up.
That is wild.
No, I promise you it popped up on my timeline.
You scrolled past it, you clicked it.
I scrolled past it.
You learned. I'm just come on.
I scrolled past it.
You shouldn't have told us you seen it. You watched that shit.
I was fucked up. Yeah. You take it in the Capitol. What's
It's
worse?
important that we remember. It's important that we remember exactly what took place. That this was no tourist visit.
Know that everyone here will soon be marching over to the Capitol building to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard.
It's kind of hard to make a decision here on this. I'm letting
just let it ride. It's 16 seconds in.
I know. It's just hard, bro.
Just let it ride. Just let it ride.
Clips.
To peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard.
I'm going to punch him out, and I'm going to go to jail, and I'm going to be happy.
Oh, shit.
You were murdered. Okay, you obviously weren't murdered because you're alive and you're basically intact. You weren't murdered, buddy.
And they are lying. And we know that because we've been looking at the tape.
What's up, guys? It's your boy Benny. If you tune into the show with any regularity, you're aware that we're big fans of Tucker Carlson. The most powerful reporting that Tucker Carlson has ever done, and this includes the JFK assassination, covering the CIA, covering the plots against Trump, but the most powerful light-shedding reporting on major events in American history that he ever did was January 6th, without question, right? And Tucker Carlson started his own news network and is continuing that process of shedding light on the truth. The January 6th narrative was utterly decimated, destroyed by Tucker Carlson in his first look access to the behind-the-scenes footage of what actually happened that day. We had Tucker Carlson on an X space and had an interesting back and forth about January 6th and how Tucker Carlson's reporting has been utterly and totally vindicated by the new footage that essentially shows what he classified January 6th as, which are peaceful protesters ambling through the United States
that's pretty
Capitol,
peaceful right there.
peacefully walking beside
Two
the
extremes.
police officers doing absolutely nothing, taking selfies and photos, whilst the police officers and
That's
cops,
crazy.
who are heavily armed and could stop them at any moment, well, led them in.
They
Literally
let them
see it
in.
in the footage.
Right here.
In fact, sometimes the cops actually encouraged the violent behavior, like in this clip from an undercover. The footage.
If these people
And
right here are
cops
being
who are
charged,
heavily armed
then Vivek
and
is
could
right.
stop them at any moment,
That's entrapment.
well, led them in. You can literally
That
see
might
it
be the craziest
in the
clip.
footage. In fact, sometimes the cops actually encouraged the violent behavior, like in this clip from an undercover.
Drain the
This is
swamp.
what I need to see.
Drain the swamp. Drain the swamp.
That's a cop talking about.
What does that mean?
Go. Let's go.
So,
Go.
there you go.
Whoa.
Saying go.
Hold on,
Help him up.
Run that back.
Help him
Up,
Down
help
here,
him
ski.
up.
Drain the swamp. Go. Go. Let's go.
So,
Go.
there you go.
Help him up. Help him up. Help him.
So just a reminder
Was that a
that
body cam?
what they got a ton of these J6ers on, the cases that they caught were, of course, entering the United States Capitol, trespassing on Capitol grounds. In fact, one of those trespassers was arrested and was then let go by one of the police officers. Here's a man getting let out of handcuffs and then fist bumping the police that day.
That's
Strange
entrapment.
times indeed.
That is
ladies and gentlemen.
entrapment.
There's the fist bump. So was Tucker right? And how could you have a violent insurrection when the insurrectionists are leaving peacefully from the United States Capitol? I mean, it really does decimate your entire argument that this is Pearl Harbor.
Yep, this looks
Right?
pretty peaceful to
It's
me.
definitely not Pearl Harbor at
Tucker
all.
Carlson, in explaining that, well, he's been right all along. And ladies and gentlemen, this is what made the people at Fox News the very most hysterical. Watch. Tucker, you were the first one out through the wall with tapes that had not been seen of January 6th. If you're speaking about government lies and you're speaking about half-truths or total fabrications told by the government, it seems like you are utterly vindicated now in your reporting based on the preponderance of evidence. I mean, I see that Jacob Chansley is listening into this live. A good example of that is you completely retold the story of Jacob Chansley, right? Known as the MAGA shaman, Buffalo Horn guy, right? You completely flipped the script, broke the narrative on that. Your thoughts on, as the man with the first access, the first reporter to see the January 6th tapes, what are your thoughts on the leaks that have been coming out now?
Well, first, I loved your interview with Chansley, who is just, the people they tell us are the worst are often some of the sweetest and the best. And he's definitely in that category based on your interview with him, I thought. So thank you for that. But because everything is a total inversion, our heroes are actually like the worst people and the most reviled are actually the kindest, of course. But yeah, I mean, I guess I feel vindicated. I've taken no pleasure in that. It's interesting, though. It wasn't reporting that got me to that. It was instinct. I mean, and I will say my instincts, and I think all of our instincts are undefeated. Your instincts don't lie to you. Your instincts are not trying to sell you a product or spin you. Your instincts are only there to tell you the truth. So if you pay close attention to them and if you figure out a system for, pointing you in the right direction, and my system is really simple. Whatever they're hysterical about is something they're lying about, because why are they hysterical? If I'm not lying, I'm not hysterical. Why would I be hysterical? I've got nothing to hide. Like, you don't believe me? Okay, fine. I'm telling the truth. But if I start screaming at you and calling you a Nazi when you ask me a question, I'm probably hiding something.
That is true. Like when you lying, you do defend it.
Yeah, you get more defensive. Yeah.
It's like if you get accused of cheating and you wasn't cheating, like, what if you actually was? No, I wasn't. No, I wasn't.
Yeah, I think it's actually crazy that Benny knows Tucker. I mean, Benny's
That
pretty
is,
famous,
yeah.
though,
Maybe
know.
we'll meet him eventually.
Yeah, but Benny, that's crazy. Like, he's on a call with Benny. I mean, I'm not, no disrespect to Benny, I'm just.
Benny is
He's
speaking
just like
right
Tucker
now.
Carlson. They treat like Tucker Carlson, like he like the conservative Lord God or something.
He's the
Benny up there
like
too.
I would say he's the poster boy right now.
Like when Tucker Carlson talks, everybody's listening for sure.
He's the poster boy for the red team right now. I would say.
I'm gonna keep it 100. Y'all
Trump,
sleep on Benny. Benny is speaking right now in front of a whole crowd.
We talking about that in Arizona?
Benny different.
No, yeah, Benny's nice.
Don't play on Benny.
Minnie's up there with like.
But Tucker is
no, yeah, but Tucker's
the top
like,
guy.
Yeah, definitely.
Top G.
But
he's the real top G.
On X, Benny's different.
Yeah, Benny is up there. He's like OT, Benny. Who's the other guy? Tim Cass. They all like kind of.
I feel like
yeah. So I can. It's understandable.
Pointing you in the right direction. And my system is really simple. Whatever they're hysterical about is something they're lying about. Because why are they hysterical? If I'm not lying, I'm not hysterical. Why would I be hysterical? I've got nothing to hide. Like, you don't believe me? Okay, fine. I'm telling the truth. But if I start screaming at you and calling you a Nazi when you ask me a question, I'm probably hiding something. And that was the guide I used on the COVID vaccine and on January 6th. I had no reason to believe there was anything weird about January 6th. I wasn't paying very close attention, to be honest with you. And then within hours, they were telling me it was a white supremacist insurrection. And that's the one thing I knew that it wasn't.
They have a lot of
I was
those.
like, well, why are they telling me that? And then they kept telling me that. It wasn't just a momentary surge of hysteria. It was a narrative they were creating. And then I was like, oh, wow, you're hiding something really, really dark. And it turned out to be hundreds of federal agents in disguise in the crowd. And of course, it was a setup, just as I began to suspect it was. But anyway, that's how I got there. I was the only reporter to see those tapes because I was the only.
See, what makes it bad is just because they were at the Capitol, So when you think of a wrong, you're going to say that it's,
You stormed in the Capitol, hey.
To a regular person, a wrong is a wrong, So it's
they
kind of
tricked
like.
you. They did trick them, but I wouldn't be tricking me personally, but.
It's regular protesters every day, So like, do we demonize the protesters?
Well,
that's kind of what they did.
But, I don't go. To
I just think the Capitol makes it worse, though. I think that really just what makes it worse.
Well,
it was the Capitol.
We've seen other people take over the Capitol a long time ago before too. So like the Black Panther Party did that.
Seriously?
Look up. It's a picture right now. They took over the Capitol with guns.
I did not know that at all.
Yeah,
I can show that right now.
But it's just crazy that they walked them through and then you're gonna deal.
See, that's the part. That's the part.
Yeah, that's the weird part about it.
Yeah, it is crazy.
If you're on the side of that over there acting rowdy, you give. But if you were on that side where you're just walking in there letting people in, and I just see, hey, if we're all just all there and we see, hey, you're letting people in, and we go in, and then boom, we all got 20 years.
But to demonize them for that, I feel like that is a little extreme. It is. That is actually insane. I didn't know they did that. But they demonized the Black Panther Party. Black Lives Matter protesters are, demonized on, I guess, one side, So I guess whatever your cause is for, no, they're demonized. They're definitely demonized. We can't act like conservatives demonize the Black Lives Matter.
No,
so they demonized the
They really don't, but they were on the damn...
What?
I was wrong. I was wrong.
Conservatives do, but I'm saying the world does not.
And the left side is demonizing the conservatives for January 6th. So whatever side is your agenda, you're going to demonize.
I was completely wrong. They took over the Capitol in California.
But that makes a bit more sense. Yeah.
They feel like
it's not that
Capitol, though.
It's not,
I didn't think they took over the...
Yeah, they were.
I guess whatever, fits your agenda.
That's crazy.
I guess.
They still got right, though.
Does that say Seattle? Or
they're not right. A wrong is a wrong.
Mm-hmm.
A wrong is wrong. But in their eyes, it's not a wrong.
They filling that bit with the rods in California. How they did this with rods in California?
Argument was so long.
So when they
the laws were probably
that's why
different
the
at the time.
Palestine argument was so wrong, because on one side, they're like, it's hard to demonize if it's different sides. One side's gonna demonize that side. One side's gonna demonize this side. That.
Whatever comes out your mouth, somebody is pissed off. On one side or the other. With this too.
Politics too.
Yeah, that is true.
Well, yeah, it's not as bad what these niggas did.
What they did? They killed people?
They fell in that bit with choppers.
What? When did that happen?
1967? Nigga, they fell in that bit with choppers.
I've never heard about that in my life.
Bro, you never heard
Was that after...
It was after, I think, when they beat up Rodney King.
Yeah.
I think.
Rodney King was not in 1967, bro.
99, 97.
After somebody.
Okay, after somebody. I'm thinking, okay.
Who gave... What was it? Was it Nixon? Yeah, this was...
Yeah, okay, so bottom line, I think we figured out kind of what's going on here, yeah. So, yeah, one side's just demonizing one side for regular protests, but to regular people, it's still wrong.
We can't say it's a regular protest because on one side, on other evidence of the video, someone died.
Yeah, somebody did get hit with that fire.
But that's going to happen.
But people was getting shot with rubber bullets, though.
A protest, bro, you should be expecting something.
That doesn't happen every
But I mean,
protest.
it's irregular. It definitely is. But like,
people protesting outside right now somewhere.
Yeah, the pro-Palestinians are like protesting on the roads and stuff right now. So, yeah, you didn't see that?
People gonna protest anything.
Yes,
there's all types of protests.
They probably protesting the vaccine still somewhere
for sure.
And then within hours, they were telling me it was a white supremacist insurrection, and that's the one thing I knew that it wasn't.
Yeah, that's insane.
And so I was like, well, why are they telling me that? Yeah, and then they kept telling me that it wasn't just a momentary surge of hysteria. It was a narrative they were creating. And then I was like, oh, wow, you're hiding something really, really dark. And it turned out to be hundreds of federal agents in disguise in the crowd. And of course, it was a setup, just as I began to suspect it was. But anyway, that's how I got there. I was the only reporter to see those tapes because I was the only, really one of the few who was interested. I mean, we asked. That's kind of how we got them. Just ask, like, call the new speaker. Like, you have these tapes thousands of hours.
Okay, one more pause. Why would they have federal agents in the crowd if they were at a Trump event?
Undercover.
You see what I'm saying? But like, okay, like, so they knew they were going to go to the Capitol?
They saying
Did they set my dog up?
They was all playing.
Well, maybe they probably just knew from the community pages on Facebook.
They coordinated this. Like Trump, I don't think.
Yeah, people probably just were coming out saying that they were going to.
I think they were. Yeah.
That's why. Because I'm just like, how would they know that they were going to go from there?
Yeah,
to there?
I don't think they just like the idea didn't come when Trump said that.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
But anyway, that's how I got there. I was the only reporter to see those tapes because I was the only, really one of the few who was interested. I mean, we asked. That's kind of how we got them. Just ask, like, call the new speaker. Like, you have these tapes thousands of hours. Why can't we see them? And of course, they didn't want to give them up, but they did. And they showed kind of what you suspected. You know, there were vandals outside. People broke windows. I'm opposed to that. People, you know, it's a big crowd. They pushed in. Some of them, you know, did violent things. Pretty low grade, by the way, violence. But whatever they did, bad, won't defend it. But most of them were just like, holy shit, I can't believe I'm in the Capitol. And they wandered around. And then the cops led them in to various rooms within the Capitol, including the Senate chamber. Now, that was the point at which, and it's on video, they
did do that. They did let him in there.
Yeah, like the ones that were just wandered in, they never.
No, they did let him in the Senate chamber. I saw that from day one. Like, from the police let them in the chamber, and they was kind of like just chilling and taking pictures and putting their feet up and all that. Like, the police let them in. The police, I remember when this first broke and the news first broke and everyone was saying that they stormed the Capitol, there was already footage of the police like showing them around.
Yeah, I did.
And the police were like standing off to the side, kind of like watching. And I remember I was thinking like, well, if they're really like storming the Capitol, why are the police not doing anything? I remember that's what I thought.
See, that's definitely.
Like, we're supposed to be so outraged. Why are the ones that are meant to protect us like not doing anything?
And we're talking about the most like important building in America, damn near.
Yeah.
That's one of them. Yeah.
If you're not supposed to be in there, I feel like they wouldn't let me in there.
Yeah, if we were in this is like a courtroom decision, I feel like that's a great point. If a lawyer brought that point up, that's the biggest point.
This is the most protected building, and they just letting people in.
They don't care. Everybody got their.
I also thought in my head,
it's extremely
before,
fishy.
Like, we unpaused it the last time. Like, what creating this narrative about these people? What is that even gonna do for?
It makes them look crazy.
Just say they're racist.
Look at those crazy
Racist
white supremacist red Republicans. They doing that. They can't accept the fact
how does that help your? How does that help your vote count?
It makes it look. They make them look back because it makes it look like you're going against the democracy.
No,
they voted for Joe Biden to be president.
It definitely helps them control the narrative this way.
They're saying that look, y'all don't agree with America's system because we voted for this president, so this should be the president. Y'all are saying no, that's not right. This and that. That's what they're trying to make it look like.
Yeah, this is.
I was the only reporter to see those tapes because I was the only, really one of the few who was interested. I mean, we asked. That's kind of how we got them. Just ask, like, call the new speaker. Like, you have these tapes thousands of hours. Why can't we see them? And of course, they didn't want to give them up, but they did. And they showed kind of what you suspected. You know, there were vandals outside. People broke windows. I'm opposed to that. People, you know, it's a big crowd. They pushed in. Some of them, you know, did violent things. Pretty low grade, by the way, violence. But whatever they did, bad, won't defend it. But most of them were just like, holy shit, I can't believe I'm in the Capitol. And they wandered around. And then the cops led them in to various rooms within the Capitol, including the Senate chamber. Now, that was the point at which, and it's on video, they opened the door for Chansley. They show him where it is and let him in. And then he says to one of the cops, can I say a prayer for you? And I'm like, this is so different from everything I've been told that it's bewildering. And moreover, why are they letting him into the Senate chamber? Why wouldn't they say, hey, pal, you can't be here, like, you know, scoot, get out of here. You get arrested, which is what cops would do. But no, they led him there. And then I'm like, well, I'd like to talk to those cops. But of course you can't because you're not allowed to know anything because it's a national security matter. And then I was like, this looks very much like a setup to me. I mean, what else is it? And of course, the second I said that, or suggested, I didn't even say it, I suggested it, a bunch of people from on-air people I worked with quit in outrage, moral outrage. They were just so shocked. That Jonah kid and that dumb guy who was his partner or whatever, Hayes, and they're like, oh, we just can't, this is so unbearable, you know. And it was like, why are you so mad that I suggested that? Like, if you disagree, tell me why. We can have a reasonable, nope, we're quitting because it's a moral crime that you asked the question. As soon as people say it's a moral crime for you to ask a question, any question about anything, then you know they're the ones committing the moral crime, 100% of the time. So, yeah, that was my guide. And, yeah, of course, it turned out to be true.
For good measure, we did go out to Arizona and visited with Jacob Chansley. It's worth noting that Jacob Chansley is a sweet man, and that Tucker Carlson is somebody who exonerated Jacob Chansley in his reporting. It's worth revisiting because it really does lock into the rest of the narrative about January 6th, that the vast majority of these people were not hooligans or insurrectionists. The vast majority of these people were peaceful, ambling through the United States Capitol at the direction of the cops. Watch.
Dangerous conspiracy theorist dressed in outlandish costume who led the violent insurrection to overthrow American democracy. For these crimes, Chansley was sentenced to nearly 4 years in prison, far more time than many violent criminals now receive. What did Jacob Chansley do to receive this punishment? To this day, there is dispute over how Chansley got into the Capitol building.
This is kind of sad now.
But according to our review of the internal surveillance video, it is very clear what happened once he got inside. Virtually every moment of his time inside the Capitol was caught on tape. The tapes show that Capitol Police never stopped Jacob Chansley. They helped him. They acted as his tour guides.
They did.
Here's video of Chansley in the Senate chamber. Capitol Police officers take him to multiple entrances and even try to open locked doors for him. We counted at least 9 officers who were within touching distance of unarmed Jacob Chansley. Not one of them even tried to slow him down. Chansley understood that Capitol Police were his allies. Video shows him giving thanks for them in a prayer on the floor of the Senate. Watch.
Thank you, Heavenly Father, for giving the inspiration needed to these police officers to allow us in this building.
Contrast the reality of what Jacob Chansley did in the Capitol building on January 6th.
So, don't believe
they crazy.
everything
They got the
you
flags
read
on
or
as
hear,
capes.
especially from the corporate media.
They definitely might be a little crazy.
Absolutely.
That's ridiculous.
Requiring
have done that
of some reason to stop Donald Trump from becoming president again.
Okay, all right. We love you, Benny, but let's discuss.
How they were looking in there, that reminded me of like The Purge. You know how they be, like, that's how that looked. But nah, it did look bad.
hard.
But that's, setups always look bad. They said it. They
But
set
how
up
would
to
you
look
get
bad.
the police to cooperate with your plan?
It comes from the top.
Let them.
The police chief, the coach of the team. This is what we're gonna do. This is the plan. Y'all let them through. Whoop de whoop.
Don't put
We
your
let them
hands.
through and we gonna set them up. Just tell police officers that.
It's too
I don't
many
know.
of them.
You
Just
know what
let
I'm saying? Like, how does this shit even happen? This is why it's fucking
It took
me
someone
up.
smart. It took
It's
someone
fucking
smart.
me up.
It took someone very smart to think this.
Somebody got paid.
Who thought this up?
Because this is definitely
I would
a
love to
problem.
know. I wouldn't even be mad at it. I'll say, hey, my brother, you did that.
Like, it's at this point,
you
like,
got their ass good.
it's this serious. Is at the point where these people are willing to set up regular and just ruin lives. You know, like
Yeah,
it's just
they've
like,
been ready to
you're
play
gonna
dirty.
Create a narrative.
They
and put
are
a man
been
in
ready to play
prison,
dirty, bro. They've been ready
and
to play
you
dirty.
let him in a place. It just fucks me up, bro. I just didn't know like these people would be this dirty, bro.
But it was. I ain't gonna lie.
This is insane.
If that's the game we're playing, like we could keep it real. That was pretty smart of them to do that because it made it look bad.
See, but I did-
They made them look bad.
It did, but
Like they won. They won.
the
that
truth
one.
is coming out. You know, so
Yeah,
it's kind of
it
like
is coming out.
It
That's
it
true.
didn't really even help. You know, like what's the point of doing that?
But people are still. It looks so bad that most people, I feel like, still won't like.
Well,
they're
I
gonna
guess
think
I
they
guess
think-
it depends on what side of the social media you might be on.
Yeah,
You
it
know?
does.
I don't know.
Which pill you taking, the red or the blue?
I don't
That's
know.
what it's kind of.
But this is pretty scary, bro. The deeper we go with this shit,
That is. Insane.
I ain't gonna lie. What I seen this week with that dude in the office is way worse than what
with
we
the
wrote.
bomb. No, that's not funny.
Not the bomb.
Oh, not the bomb.
I'm talking
You're
about the
a
dude
flashback,
having sex in the office.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
Nah, the meme of that was so hilarious, bro. That was actually the funniest.
That
thing
is
I've
the
probably
worst
ever seen.
thing I have ever seen in 2020.
Nah, bro, this is actually
Three.
this shit's scary, bro. That's why I was so passionate about that argument. If this shit wasn't so teamy, I was so passionate about that because I feel like that's a big problem. These people just teaming up to just do dirt, you know? It's fucked up. But, you know, guys, what do y'all think about it? Y'all let us know in the comments, guys. We're out of here.
It's politics.